In this video, we're going to look at something that truly sets Enscape apart from other rendering engines, and that's the asset library that it provides. There are other resources, such as the RPC content that is available from ArcVision dashboard. They have a lot of newer content available that is really quite nice, like unto what we're seeing here, or we're going to see here in Enscape. But this content that we're going to look at in this video and subsequent videos all comes with Enscape, and you don't need a special license checked out to make it work whenever you want to view it. So it's really quite nice and high quality. So without even starting Enscape, we have access to this asset library if you have Enscape installed on your computer. This allows you to place the content within Revit and then have it show up very realistic looking within Enscape. So when you place something, the representation of it is very simplified in Revit. It's not meant to be part of the design in Revit as part of the construction documents or even necessarily part of the generic presentation 3D views. This mainly is meant to look amazing in Enscape, but we need to see a simple representation of it in Revit to be able to know where it is and move it around. So you can see right off the bat that there's a lot of content, and it's actually loading these preview images from the web. All of this content doesn't just download as part of the installer, because that would make the installer quite large. So depending on your internet connection, it could take a little longer to download these previews. And then on the left here, we can select these subgroups if we just want to look at the specific accessories or clutter or construction options. Here's the furniture tab. So if your project is still really preliminary and you haven't selected furniture yet, you can use this content as a placeholder, or if furniture is not in your contract, that can also be used further into the design. The thing that's really nice about this is there's some really nice rounded high quality 3D models, like this bed with the soft looking pillow and comforter draped across it. You don't typically see that in a pure Revit model family. You can see the number of items in each category is listed. So right now there's 110 people. And when we click on that category, the tags down below change based on what we've selected. So within the people category, if we were looking for a female, maybe the scene has mostly male in it or men in it so far, so you want to add and kind of balance the gender in the scene, you can then click on female, and then you have 51 women or girls to select from. You can see there's adults and children, and they're in various poses, so sitting, standing, walking. If you're working on a school, right now there's only, actually 12 children once you uncheck female. So there's 12 children. Some of them are with adults, some of them are by themselves. And then if you wanted a female child, you check both of those, and that narrows it down to any children that are female. So we'll uncheck those tags that are filtering this, and then look at the other categories here real quick. Street props, so arrows to go on the ground, a bus shelter, garbage or trash receptacles. Look at vegetation, 169 options, so this is the biggest group, and this is really quite nice. The quality of the trees with individual leaves, and you can see these previews have a silhouette of a person just to help you get a sense of scale. And then notice the tags change. So we have shrubs and evergreen. And then finally, we have a number of vehicles that we can place in a parking lot or on an adjacent street. And then if you want to place any of this content, you simply click on it. So a single click, that menu or user interface for the asset library goes away. And now we have the opportunity to drop in one of these families. Hit escape a couple times to get the menu to come back up. And then we'll close that menu. So you'll want to make sure you get a good look at it and see if it placed it at the correct elevation. Placing it in 3D view can be a little tricky. You can see it referenced level 2 and minus 14 foot 2, so sometimes it's easier to place some of this in like a plan view, but this was the easiest way to show what it looks like and what happens. Another thing to keep in mind is that most of this content is in the planting category, and part of that is the planting family is one of the few families that allows an item to be scaled. So if you want to adjust the height of a person or a tree or some other piece of content that you're dropping in from the asset library, because it's in the planting category, Revit will let you do that. So that's just a real basic introduction to the asset library. In the subsequent videos, we'll look at placing different content in different contexts and see what it looks like in Enscape.